to the man who was in Birmingham only a few days ago to see the indoor. His name Yomi Omogbeja. Yomi Omogbeja, welcome to the program ABC Sports. Only a few days ago we saw you. I mean, you were just there all through for the Birmingham indoor. How did it go?
Thank you, Chris, for bringing me on the show. Yeah, it was a bit okay, but I mean, this year is Commonwealth Games, so indoor is not really big for African athletes that we're covering, and just a few of the athletes actually showed up. Majority of the athletes for Africa right now are preparing for the Commonwealth Games, so this is kind of too early in the year for them to compete. So we kind of did well. I mean, Ethiopia has a couple of medals. Ivory Coast got their first gold medal as well. Unfortunately, Nigeria didn't get any medal, but you have at least a lot to cheer about. South Africa got a silver medal also in the long jump, and so it was quite okay, decent for African teams as well.
Good. I mean, the Commonwealth Games is not far-fetched. I'm just beginning to wonder. I mean, what are the preparations now that you've called the Africans? What are the preparations for Africa? And if I might extend it, because I know you are also deep into the Nigerian terrain, how prepared are this nation for the Commonwealth Games? Just be sincere with the public, if you can.
Well, okay, let's start with Africa. The main African teams going to Commonwealth Games, Kenya, South Africa, those countries are quite well prepared. Ghana, and you expect those countries to get a couple of medals at the championship. Especially when it comes to the sprints, South Africa will be a big competition for the Jamaicans, the British teams, and the Canadians and the Australians as well. So, but when it comes to the Nigerian team, I can't say much about that because they had a Commonwealth Games trial in a few weeks back, which most of the foreign athletes did show up. And then some of the athletes have not actually competed this year, so you don't know the form they're in. And so basically we have it, Nigeria has a list now of 37 athletes going to Commonwealth Games. There are quite a lot of young people and new, inexperienced athletes going. So you can't predict what will happen, but I'm not too optimistic that they will have as much success as they had in Glasgow in 2014.
Good. I mean, there have been so many calls that preparation have not always been the best name for any Nigerian athletes. And as I speak to you, I'm not sure, what preparations have been in place for the Nigerian athletes to be sincere. I mean, that's where I'm driving at. You know too well as I know that, I keep dragging on this. I mean, the Commonwealth Games in Australia, if my brain still serves me right, and if it's less than 40 days to be precise. What is there? What is there for people to rejoice about, Yomi?
That's what I'm saying, that when you pick okay, I'll start with the Nigerian team. When you pick the Nigerian team, they had the selection trials, which was mainly for the athletes based in the country. Most of the foreign-based athletes didn't show up. And then you have all the crisis and the drama with the Athletics Federation board itself. There's this week there's a news that they didn't return some of the money that the IWF paid them, and that's already torn apart the old board. Now, this probably happened during this transition from the old board and the new board. And now, I think it's the sport ministry and the secretary that was there at that time that have to account for the money. So you have that crisis as a big distraction on one side. And then you have the fact that some of the athletes who actually went to Nigeria to compete, like Sheye Ogunlewe, for instance, who is currently the fastest athlete in Nigeria, sprinter, was deselected from the team because after the 2 rounds, he didn't do the final, even though he had the fastest time in the first round and in the semi-final. So you have a problem where you actually drop one of your best athletes on flimsy excuse, and then You have the crisis on one side with the board itself. So it's very chaotic right now. So I don't know what's going to happen in the next few weeks, but I'm not really optimistic that they're going to do anything at the Commonwealth Games.
Good. Wait for us, Yomi. Please don't go yet. While I just bring Gary in. Gary, I mean, we just heard Yomi telling us about the IAAF paying so much money to the Nigerian Federation and telling them, oh, I think we overpaid you guys and you guys are not paying us back the money. Can you guys pay the money? And they're saying no. That money will be going back to you. Yeah. I mean, what is the problem here? I mean, are they meant to? Were they supposed to? I mean, what's your own take on this?
It's hard to know, what the exact circumstances were about why the money was overpaid, because that's a very strange thing to happen. Why, how does one overpay a federation? Should be very, very clear lines about how much people get paid. The only thing that could be, and from what I understand about Nigerian athletics as well, is that the people running on the old board there weren't exactly the most honest people in the game, basically, and there was a lot of really bad, a lot of shenanigans going around that the previous chairman was
involved in. Ogba guy.
So they created. I heard lots of stories about money being paid in and not going to the guy eventually paying money out of his own account because he was keeping the money and things like that. There were a lot of really, really negative stories. So it's hard to actually try and get to the bottom of it. It could have been that maybe he kind of done something to get a double payment somewhere along the line and told them, then they realized they'd paid them twice or something. So it's hard to make a statement unless one really knows exactly But sorry, the only thing is one thing I know there is it's like with anything. Once you give somebody money, it's hard to get money back, basically.
No, Gary, if I give you money, you to return it. You have to. Anyway, let's just get back to you. So what would be the way forward for athletics in Africa and in Nigeria to be particular, just before we let you go?
Well, I think the only way forward, if I might say, is to have proper people in place who love the sport, who are passionate about the sport, administrators who know what they're doing and they are honest, and they have integrity to do the right things and follow best practices across the world. We have the athletes, we have the talents. We now need to have credible administrators to take us forward. If I might just mention, just say something about what Gary said about the money. I think they needed to pay them $20,000 US for the Warri relays as IAAF contributions. Now, I don't know how whoever got in there made a mistake and instead paid $150,000. Now, after taking the $20,000, they were supposed to refund the $130,000 back to the IAAF. But then the old board said that they were not sure what happened because the secretary sent them $40,000 US. So they thought the $20,000 had been doubled by the IAAF for the new year. So they took that in. But what happened to the remaining $110,000 US? That was taken into the sport ministry. So that's basically now between the minister, the secretary, and the youth and sports official in charge of elite sports to acquire for that. But for the old board, they only have $20,000 US extra to refund.
I don't know. It's all over. It's just all over the place, and one can't really put his hand into what they are doing. Everybody claiming right, yet the truth is so clean to see. Anyway, just for us to hear your final word, because I was waiting for that. You were in Birmingham. You saw how things were organized. Did Birmingham, live up to expectation? Is it the type of facilities which they promised you saw?
Yeah, it was quite good. I mean. We had this problem in the first 2 days with chaotic snow, and getting around and getting to the venue was really stressful. But inside the arena itself, it was really good, and naturally, British organization is always top notch. So that was great. But when you look at the fact that the Nigerian team in charge of hosting the Africa Championship in August, we're also there to observe. So that was quite nice because they were able to see how things are done. They were able to observe the accreditation, the publicity, the marketing. So I hope they will take that back. And for once, we have a very well organized Africa Championship this year. So,
Good.
So for
Yomi,
me,
we will always, because the Commonwealth Games is fast approaching, and of course you will always be our ears, mouth, all of that has to do with athletics. But then again, because of time, thank you for joining us on ABC Sports. And good work you're doing, I have to say, on athletics. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And
brilliant. I mean, what else can we say? He's painted all the pictures.
Yeah.
Africans are perhaps moving backwards or forward,
Yeah.
most especially Nigeria. There is so much, wuha that's happening in Nigeria right now. I have got so much, paperwork in terms of people creating so much. I'm being told I have to take a break. But if we continue with them, we just won't stop the show. Anyway, at this point, let's quickly take